Hey everybody, welcome back to Nerd Level Rising. My name's Jake. It's getting close to the end of the year, which means we need to start talking about next year. We get to talk about all the stuff we're excited about. I got a lot of end of the year content, kind of looking forward to next year, all that kind of stuff. The first thing I want to do here is talk about some new releases next year that I'm very excited about. I'm going to do my best to be ready for these if possible, or at least buy them, because I'm really interested in these series and I want to be able to get in there and be in conversation with the other people who are reading this at least close to release date. So I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my absolute best to keep up with those. This year I hit and miss track record with doing that, but I'm going to try. Hopefully next year should be less hectic because I won't have a job search, fingers crossed, to do in the middle of all that. So anyway, let's get into it. These are some brand new releases in the fantasy sci-fi space for 2026. I'll talk about release dates if those have been released. Otherwise, I'll give you a quick little overview of the book. If it's a sequel, the overview will be for book one, so you don't have to worry about spoilers or anything like that. Book one is what has been rumored for a very, very long time. And this was a huge thing on BookTube, years ago, and it feels like it's kind of petered out, but now with rumors of book three getting ready to come out, it feels like it's starting to gain some momentum again, and I've been wanting to check this series out, and I think the release of book three, if we do in fact get a set release date, will be a great excuse for me to finally jump in, and that's the Burning, the trilogy by Evan Winter. Started with Rage of Dragons. This new book is called The Lord of Demons. It sounds like the release rumored early 2026, so I'm not going to be ready for that on release day if it does in fact come out in January or February of 2026. But if it gets delayed, which it seems like this has gotten delayed once or twice, right? That if that happens again, I might be able to catch up and be ready in time, and that would be pretty great. So what is a quick little pitch for The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter? The Omei people have been fighting an unwinnable fight for almost 200 years. Their society has been built around war and only war. The lucky ones are born gifted. 1 in every 200 women has the power to call down dragons. 1 in every 100 men is able to magically transform himself into a bigger, stronger, faster killing machine. Everyone else is fodder, destined to fight and die in the endless war. Young, giftless Tao knows all of this, but he has a plan of escape. He's going to get himself injured, get out early, and settle down to marriage, children, and land. Only he doesn't get the chance. Those closest to him are brutally murdered, and his grief swiftly turns to anger. Fixated on revenge, Tao dedicates himself to an unthinkable path. He'll become the greatest swordsman to ever live, a man willing to die 100,000 times for the chance to kill the 3 who betrayed him. Rage of Dragons, great title. I love dragons. This sounds cool. Revenge story, magic, dragons. Come on, what more can you ask for? The second book here that I'm really excited for is a standalone. I believe this is a novella, although it might be a longer novella that you could argue as a short novel. But this is called Hammerfall. This is in the God Eater universe. One of the first videos on my channel was a quick little review of the God Eater books by Rob J. Hayes. That was a really unique structure. It's a trilogy of trilogies where he released all 3 of the book 1s, and then he's going to do all 3 of the book 2s, and then all 3 of the book 3s. And that really, through these 3 different timelines, the way that he's releasing it is allowing him to weave together these secrets and reveals and truths and all this stuff in such an interesting way. And I loved that first phase of those. And it sounds like phase 2 is in the works. He's getting closer to being able to release phase 2. Maybe it comes out in 2026. It sounds like most recent update I could find from him, it sounds like he wasn't sure, but maybe we'll see. But at least this standalone will come out. So what is Hammerfall? How long can a cause remain just when painted in the blood of innocence? They named her the Starhammer once, hero to some, monster to many more, first into the breach at the Shattering, anointed in the blood of 1,000 demons, the last of the legendary Valkyr. But the Starhammer is dead, or so the stories tell. Amidst the soaring trees and haunted slopes of the primals, Salitha relies on the forest to provide and cares for her family. Nothing is more precious to her than her daughter. It's a simple life, it's a peaceful life. It's a lie. When bandits raid the primals, burning towns and stealing children from their beds, Salitha has no choice but to lend her axe to the rescue. Volcanic giants spew ash into the sky, demonic bears claw the forest to splinters, and there are even rumors the kin, half men, half beasts, serve the raiders. All the terrors of the old world stand against her. With a severed head as guide to rescue the children, Salitha may need to bring the Starhammer back from the dead. But will it be the hero who rises from the grave, or the monster? A new standalone fantasy adventure set in the world of the God Eater saga, inspired by Norse mythology and the God of War games. I love God of War. I love Norse mythology. I loved God Eater. This sounds great. We know Rob J. Hayes can write action. We know that he can write good characters. We know that he can write a plot twist like the best of them. Excited for this. February 3rd is the release date of this. I did get an arc of this, so I'm hoping to read this early and get a review up there right around the release date. That will be pretty great. The next one on the list is The Daughter of Crows. This is due out March 24th, the new Mark Lawrence book. I assume this is going to be the start of a new trilogy because it seems like that's sort of what he does. But, we shall see. That remains to be seen as far as I'm aware. But talk about a banger cover this one has too. Let's talk about this. The Daughter of Crows. Set a thief to catch a thief. Set a monster to punish monsters. The Academy of Kindness exists to create agents of retribution, cast in the image of the Furies, known as the Kindly Ones, against whom even the gods hesitate to stand. Each year, 100 girls are sold to the Academy. 10 years later, only 3 will emerge. The Academy's halls are run with blood. The few that survive its decade-long nightmare have been forged on the sands of the Wound Garden. They have learned ancient secrets and the necrotic fumes of the Bone Garden. They leave its gates as avatars of vengeance, bound to uphold the oldest of laws. Only the most desperate would sell their child to the Kindnesses. But Rue, she sold herself. And now, a lifetime later, a long and bloody lifetime later, just as she's discovered peace, war has been brought to an old woman's doorstep. That was a mistake. That's a great pitch, man. That's a great pitch. And it sounds like we have like an old woman POV, in a story like this. That sounds unique and really, really cool. I really want to start my Mark Lawrence journey. I haven't yet. I have the library trilogy on these shelves behind me. I got to check it out. I really think I'm going to like his book. So this is an exciting one. Maybe this will be my first Mark Lawrence. I don't know. We'll see. Then we have March 31st, the sequel to The Grave Empire by Richard Swan. This is in the Great Silence series, which I believe is a trilogy. Steel Gods is the name of book 2. These covers are also awesome. I love these titles. These are great. So again, avoiding spoilers, here's the pitch for book 1, the Grave Empire. Grave Empire begins the epic tale of an empire on the verge of industrial revolution, where sorcery and arcane practices are outlawed, and where an ancient prophecy threatens the coming end of days. Blood once turned the wheels of empire. Now it's money. A new age of exploration and innovation has dawned, and the Empire of the Wolf stands to take its place as the foremost power in the known world. Glory and riches await. But dark days are coming. A mysterious plague has broken out in the pagan kingdoms to the north, while in the south, the Empire's proxy war in the lands of the Wolfmen is weeks away from total collapse. Worse still is the message brought to the Empress by 2 heretic monks who claim to have lost contact with the spirits of the afterlife. The monks believe this is the start of an ancient prophecy heralding the end of days, the Great Silence. It falls to Renata Rainier, a low-ranking ambassador to an enigmatic and vicious race of mermen, to seek answers from those who still practice the arcane arts. But with the road south beset by war and the Empire on the brink of supernatural catastrophe, soon there may not be a world left to save. We have a Fonda Lee book. This is a standalone, I believe. I haven't read The Green Bone. I really want to. I know it sounds awesome, but this one sounds awesome too. This is the last contract of Isako, which is like a samurai space opera cyberpunk thing. That sounds awesome. I don't know. So in May, this is Last Contract of Isako. Isako is a legendary swordswoman, but every legend has to come to an end. When her longtime client unexpectedly retires, she plans to follow, to walk out into the frozen wasteland of their planet with her head held high and her family enriched by her legacy. But when a competitor offers her a final mission, it's one she can't refuse. Soon she's thrust deep into a world of corporate espionage, duty-bound duels, and shadowy secrets. What she uncovers will change humanity's existence in the stars forever. We then have the sequel, the next book in the series that began with The Tainted Cup and then went to Drop of Corruption, and now book 3 will be A Trade of Blood. This is the Shadow of the Leviathan series by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is like murder mystery, Sherlock Holmes fantasy type of deal. It sounds awesome. I had the first 2 books on my shelf. I gotta read them. Getting ready for book 3. This is due out in June of 2026. Let's see what book 1, The Tainted Cup, was all about. In Diratana's most opulent mansion, a high imperial officer lies dead, killed to all appearances, but when a tree spontaneously erupted from his body. Even in this canton of the borders of the Empire, where contagions abound and the blood of the Leviathans work strange magical changes, it's a death at once terrifying and impossible. Called in to investigate this mystery is Anna Dolabra, an investigator whose reputation for brilliance is matched only by her eccentricities. At her side is her new assistant, Dinios Cole. Din is an engraver, magically altered to possess a perfect memory. His job is to observe and report and act as a superior's eyes and ears. Quite literally in this case, as among Anna's quirks are her insistence on wearing a blindfold at all times, and her refusal to step outside the walls of her home. As the two close in on a mastermind and uncover a scheme that threatens the safety of the Empire itself, Din realizes he's barely begun to assemble the puzzle that is Ana Delabra, and wonders how long he'll be able to keep his own secret safe from her piercing intellect. We also, of course, the elephant in the room. Please, Pierce Brown, give us Red God. Please. Please give us Red God. Nothing's confirmed. I know a lot of people are thinking maybe summer 2026. We'll see. But man, the fantasy sci-fi world will pause when Red God comes out and we're all going to read it on release day. I sure will. To see the conclusion of that just epic space opera, super violent, grimdark at times, fantasy sci-fi blend, but mostly sci-fi. I want to see big space battles. I want to see all kinds of crazy stuff as we find the conclusion of this story of the Reds rising up to oppose the Gold, to rule society, and then just all the fallout that happens after that point, right? I just can't wait to see the conclusion there. We also might get another Erickson book in the Malazan series. We also might get a Sanderson book. We usually get a Sanderson book. I don't know. But that's enough to keep up with, I think, for 2026 releases. So thanks for watching this. Let me know in the comments if there's any other ones that you're really looking forward to. I'm sure there's a bunch that I missed, but these are the ones that stuck out to me, at least. So talk to me down there. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check the description for links to the Discord, the Patreon, and everything like that. Thank you, as always, for hanging out with me. I'll see you next time.